think it's one of my patients who actually said it best. And she said after she had the valve procedure done, she said to me, "I feel like you've turned back the clock. This is where I felt like I was, say, 5 years ago." One of the things as a physician that breaks my heart the most is when a patient comes to me for the first time and I have to tell them they've already lost half, 3/4 of their lung function. COPD is a leading cause of death in the world and has been for many years. One of the big problems that we have in healthcare is that we don't recommend that we generally do any screening for COPD. And unfortunately, a lot of those patients suffer in silence. I do think that the stigma associated with COPD has unfortunately impacted much of how we diagnose, treat, and think about COPD. So we have to quit thinking about COPD as something that someone did to themselves and it's all their fault, and therefore it's their responsibility to fix themselves. And just like we are focused on prevention and treatment of every other disease, diabetes, heart disease, et cetera, that all have both environmental as well as behavioral components, we have to think about COPD in the same way. But the fact of the matter is that there actually are things that patients can do to improve their lives, and there are definitely things that we as physicians that we can do that will help patients feel better, have fewer exacerbations, and lead much, much better lives. Endobronchial valve therapy is a treatment option for patients with severe COPD and emphysema. And so that's why patients feel like they simply can't breathe. But with the advent of endobronchial valves, when we actually kind of plug some of the non-functioning lobes, it actually degasses the lungs. It helps it deflate them so that the diaphragms are restored to that mechanical advantage and they actually feel like they're getting a breath in when they do breathe. I don't want to have to tell a patient, later, 5 years down the road. I don't think any physician would want to say, you could have had a much better life. You could have danced at your son's wedding or gone to your nephew's graduation, but you didn't because I forgot to, didn't mention, slipped my mind to talk to you about having endobronchial valve procedure done and whether you might be a candidate.